Hi everyone, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of Spirit Hunter Deathmark 2, running on PlayStation 5. Okay, what were we doing? I take out the note Michio gave me this evening. And then I punch in the number written on the paper. Michio isn't answering. Well then, let's call the dorm and check if they're in their dorms. Konoehara Academy student dormitory here. The languid voice of a middle-aged woman is transmitted into the receiver that is pressed against my ear. She must be the dorm manager. My apologies for calling this late at night. My name's Yashiki. I'm one of the teachers at Konoehara Academy. Have Himiko Dorio and Michio Kinokawa returned home? Hold on, Mr. Yashiki, right? So, you're the teacher who's been hitting on those two. What? Playing dumb, I see. I heard it all from the kids here, you know. They say there's a four-eyed middle-aged teacher who's been hanging around Dorio and Kinokawa an awful lot. Hang on a second. This is... My goodness, how immoral. There have been more and more indecent teachers trying to put their hands on these innocent students. Just admit it already. That's what your intentions are, aren't they? This is getting me nowhere fast. She's prejudiced against me. Why is this happening now, of all times? What can I do to make her listen to me? Tell her there are lives at stake. Convince her I have no ulterior motives. Bring up Mr. Konoe. Oh yeah, let's bring out the boss. I'm investigating a case at the request of Mr. Konoe. If you refuse to cooperate, that's your choice. But I'm letting you know that he'll be hearing about it. Are you alright with that? Huh? But hold on a second. You're joking, right? Why don't you try calling him and see whether or not he thinks it's a joke. So, what are you gonna do? Your call. Ugh. The dorm manager remains silent. Merely mentioning the name Konoe seems to be a pretty effective tactic within the school. My apologies. You see, the female dormitory has been getting a lot of weird calls lately. I didn't mean to offend you at all. I'm just taking precautions for the girls' sakes. You know that, right? Jeez, now she's finally willing to listen. So, where are Dorio and Kinokawa? To tell you the truth, most of them haven't returned and it's already past curfew. Excuse me? I always warn the kids that they need to get back by their curfew, but The dorm manager offers up a bunch of half-assed excuses. She obviously doesn't want to be held accountable. They actually left after coming back. I let them go since it was before the curfew. I didn't do anything wrong. Did you ask where they were going? No, I respected their privacy. But I distinctly remember that Kinokawa was talking on the phone before she left. Judging by their conversation, I assumed she was invited out by someone. Oh, okay. I'll try looking for them. Ignoring what the dorm manager attempted to say after that, I immediately hang up the phone. This is bad. Stifling my mounting anxiety, I quickly tried to organize my thoughts. They got a phone call and left the dorm. Luring their target out with a phone call is a trick the departed has used over and over again. Knowing that, it's probably a sign that they've been lured back onto school grounds. I need to find them, and quickly. Two of them have to be at school somewhere. But where to look first? Come. Please connect past, future. That feeling just now, and that whisper. It's the same voice that told me to pretend to be Mr. Hirose during Slitmouth Kashima's case. Come to the place that connects the past and the future. That voice is trying to guide me somewhere. The past and the future. It's the connecting hallway, really. Or like the music room or the art room. There's a large bulletin board here. This is where the first notice was posted. When I move the papers around, there's a knife damage and some red marks. There's something stuffed into the red crack. I need to touch the crack if I want to figure out what it is. Yeah, well, why not? This is for the investigation. I need to do it. I slowly stick my finger into the crack. It's lukewarm and damp. Ugh. A sharp pain shoots through my finger. Something's biting me. I yank my finger out to check for an injury. What? Strangely enough, there is no wound. Am I just imagining things? That thing was stuck in the crack has now fallen to the floor. Ah. I pick it up. It's an eerie tooth. I mean, it didn't let me warp here, so this must be it. Flashlight. You're... Oh, hi. A female doll is standing in the darkness. You're the one who called me, right? I force the words out of my tensed mouth. So, a place that connects the past and the future. It must be this corridor that connects the old and new buildings. What the hell are you? The doll owner responds with a hollow voice. We simply stand facing each other, both of us motionless as time passes. Meanwhile, Dorio and Michio are... I feel uneasy thinking about it. Hey, what did you call me? What is she trying to say? Place bell rings. My. The doll in the red dress disappears, blending into the darkness. What did she want to tell me? Place where the bell rings. My. The place where the bell rings. What's in there? Oh, clock tower front. I guess we would go there, right? Wouldn't be the courtyard, would it? So. Something is reflecting in the light from my flashlight. This is... Pick it up. It's an eerie tooth. Go to the clock tower. That's what she wanted us to go. Is there anything else here? The place where the bell rings, eh? There's only one possibility. The clock tower. A landmark of Konoehara Academy that was built to commemorate the school's 10th anniversary. Having fortunately escaped the fiery ravages of war, it became the symbol of the school, along with the old building. The clock stopped working 7 years ago, so there's no way the bell can ring. But I've often heard the bell since coming here, especially on occasions when the departed's presence is strong. The bell is ringing. screamed just now. Was it Doryu? She's nearby, probably inside the clock tower. The door of the grand clock tower is slightly ajar, almost as if it's beckoning me to enter. The moment I put my hand on the rusty doorknob, the double doors fling wide open. What exactly am I seeing here? Oh, okay. I guess they had to put some fan service in here somewhere, huh? Both Doryu and Michio are lying on the floor in their underwear. What the hell happened here? You guys okay?
Yes.
I mean, you don't look okay. Doryu replies weakly. She can't think straight.
Mr. Yashiki.
Michio groans and calls my name. Can you stand?
Don't think so. I can't move my legs and arms.
A huge blob is wriggling around them, restraining their limbs. It looks like a mass of slime mold. I'm going to rip it off.
Oh, wait! Don't provoke the bugs. They'll bite.
A swarm of insects are crawling on their skin. Some are venomous, including the centipedes. If this is the part it's doing, these are likely no ordinary insects. There are bound to be massive consequences if I mess this up. These girls could end up like Daimon. I better be extremely careful and take things step by step. What should I do first? Doryu. First, I rip off the slime mold that's binding Doryu's limbs. And then I carefully brush the bugs from her body. Can you hear me, Doryu?
Mr. Yashiki?
Let's get out of here. Can you walk?
Yes.
I help Doryu back to her feet and get her out of the clock tower. We should be safe here. I'm going back for Michio now. Wait here. I return to the clock tower and do the same thing in the exact order to help Michio. Lastly, I scoop up their uniforms from the floor and run outside with her. I close the doors behind me and heave a huge sigh of relief. It all went well. While the two are getting dressed, I look up at the clock tower. Is it just coincidence that they were put here? I don't think so. There must be a reason for it. And I calculated one at that.
Mr. Yashiki, we're done changing.
I have to ask them what happened. Before that, let's go back to the infirmary. Once we arrive, I make some instant coffee. Both of them sip their drinks in silence. Their faces have regained some color. Looks like they've calmed down a bit. They should be able to talk now.
Mr. Yashiki, I'm fine now. Feel free to ask us anything you need to know.
That goes for me too. Despite their trembling voices, they're trying to be strong. Honestly, I'd rather not make these kids recall such painful events, but I don't have any choice. Trying to figure out what happened in the clock tower. Ask them about the spirit in the pool. I tell them that I've managed to resolve the situation with the spirit in the pool.
Thank you, Mr. Yashiki. To think that spirit was really Takai. So she was murdered by Hanako and then became a spirit. Kinda scary to think about a spirit giving birth to another spirit.
Takai isn't the only victim that turned into a spirit. Shinji, who was killed by Kashima, was haunting the gymnasium. I have to wonder if this entire series of awful events was set in motion by the departed. That's why they came back to the school. Itchy scratchy. The door manager told me you were invited out by someone. Or the door manager told me you were invited out by someone. Who called you? It was you. Me? You asked us to help you because you were trapped in the clock tower. So Hime and I went out there. I think that was probably the departed pretending to be me in order to lure you out. Are you serious? Damn, they're a tricky enemy. That's what happened in the clock tower. The door was open when we arrived at the clock tower. The moment we stepped inside, a swarm of insects attacked us. They were crawling under our uniforms, so we took them off and tried to get the insects off us. I started panicking, and everything went blank after that. If they were just normal insects, I wouldn't have been so scared, but I saw some venomous centipedes among them. My limbs refused to move when I tried to escape. And then you came just when we were at the end of our ropes. You really saved our lives. Was the departed the one who sent those insects to attack us? Most likely. I saw a notice that they were trying to kill you two. Student council. Why us? I might have an idea why. Do you mind telling us? So, I've noticed that the departed's targets fall into two categories. People directly targeted by the departed, like you were, and those who were targeted by other spirits. Everyone who's been directly targeted by the departed have all been people I'm close with. Then that means we were targeted because we're close with you? I think so. Oh, I see. I'm sorry, Dorio. I'm sorry, Michio. You wouldn't have had this horrific experience if I hadn't asked for your help. I'm a curse. I shouldn't have gotten involved in this case. Then Diamond wouldn't have had to go through such terrible things. My chest tightens as feelings of regret well up inside. But we were saved because of you. Dorio. You still saved our lives. That's not something that just anyone would have been able to do. You did it because you have the skills. Yep. The other adults don't believe in the departed. You're the only one I can rely on to protect us. So please don't apologize for caring about us. We're really grateful to you. Michio. Thank you. Even after experiencing many terrible things, they never lose their smiles. They never turn away from the terror lurking in the darkness. Instead, they're trying to fight against it. Well, I mean, she died, though, but... I don't know if it's because they're brave or have a strong sense of justice. One thing's for sure, though. What those two are doing is not something that just anyone would be capable of. Witnessing their strength and resolve has given me encouragement. The two of them shine brightly, like a beacon in the darkness. Mr. Yashiki, there's something I'm curious about. Is the departed really hiding in our school? Yes, Izumi and I said they're pretending to be a human. Do you know who they are? No, unfortunately. They're one cautious foe, disguising themselves and leaving no clues at all. Mr. Yashiki, would you like to try deducing the departed's true identity with us? Oh, nice idea. Let's give it a shot. 3 heads are better than 2. Yeah, sure. We better try it. Their suggestion piques my interest. Who knows, maybe they actually can feel the departed's presence. So, the departed is targeting those who are close to you, right? How would they know you're a circle of friends and who you're close to, though? Since they're a spirit, they might have used their supernatural powers to figure it out. Or they might have discovered it when pretending to be human at the school. Why don't you try exploring that option? If we assume they're just using powers, That won't leave us any path to deduce anything. There's only a handful of people who know about I and Sho at this school. First up is my client and the headmaster of the school, Mr. Konoe. Since I report everything related to the case to him, he would have learned a thing or two about me during the process. Next, we have the curriculum coordinator, Sakamoto. A serious and cantankerous individual, she might have heard things about me from Mr. Konoe and her colleagues. Next, a male student named Haruaki Abe. For some reason, he knows a lot about me and my connections. He called me a spirit doctor, so he may know about the mark bearers too. And then we have Himiko Doryu and Michio Kinukawa. Both of them have been working with me, so they know I and Sho as well. Is the departed among them? If so, who is it? Let's see, is it Konoe? Is it Sakamoto? Is it Abe? Himiko? Himiko would kind of make sense. She has that weird tattoo. Abe is like the most obvious that that they would try to throw you off at, right? Ritsu never wants to talk about things, but Mr. Konoe kind of makes more sense. The strongest possibility is Himiko, right? Doryu-chan? Oh, we'll say Konoe. If that's true, it means this whole investigation is part of the Departed's plan. Both the notices and the students' disappearances were traps to lure you out. Whoa, so he's like a mastermind pulling the strings behind the scenes. I've been operating under the impression that the Departed was female since they refer to themselves as a bride. So why would they have assumed the form of a man when they could have just as easily taken a female form? This isn't as easy as I thought. I just don't have enough clues to deduce the Departed's true identity yet. I can only press on with the investigation, all the while wondering who my allies, who are my allies, and who are my enemies. I've just got a frog in my throat. Before we realize it, a long time has passed. I can't just keep these girls out when they've already broken their curfew. We better leave the infirmary as soon as we're ready. After closing up the special building, we leave the school. Mr. Yashiki? Would you mind sharing more details about this case with us? Maybe we can help you come up with something. Well, you have a point, but you don't want us to get involved. It's too late for that. We've already been targeted by the Departed. You solving this case is the only way we're going to get our normal lives back. That's why both of us want to help you out. Please let us help, Mr. Yashiki. Fine. All right. All the deaths, grotesque occult phenomena, the fear of being targeted by the Departed. My heart is overburdened with all this stress. I want to let it all out. I just want to vent to someone, anyone. So, once these two press me, I give in easily, opening up like an unlocked diary, spilling the details of the incidents up until this point. How Hidikoshi and Manabe were killed by spirits, Diamond's hospitalization, as well as the female doll and the numerous visions she's shown me, something I didn't even tell the mark bearers. I guess that's just about everything. Both of them stare at me, stunned. They must find it hard to believe. Honestly, it'd be more of a shock if they believed it all.
Mr. Yashiki? That doll in the red dress. We know her.
Say what?
We saw her before at the clock tower, on the day we received this curse.
What curse? Not following you. What a turn of events. I have to ask for details. The doll sighting.
It was 2 months ago, during summer break. We went to the clock tower for the school's 70th anniversary project.
Oh yeah, weren't you guys planning to get the clock tower moving again?
Yes, we wanted to inspect the inside of the tower before moving on with the project. That was when we saw a female doll in a red dress placed on the altar.
Did the doll move?
No, she was just sitting on the altar. It immediately gave us both chills, so we decided to get out of the tower. But it was too late. We were already cursed.
Their curse.
Is it okay if I tell him, Hime? Sure, go ahead. Only because I'm sure you'll believe us, Mr. Yashiki. Alright.
Michiho looks serious, which isn't a side of her I've seen often.
You can see them, can't you? My white hair and the mark on Hime's face.
Yeah, they really stand out.
To tell you the truth, other people can't see them.
What?
Aside from us, the only one who can see them is you.
That's impossible. But how? Now that I think about it, there was definitely something off. Nobody's never even tried to hide her mark from others, and none of the mark bearers have ever commented on Michio's white hair. It all makes sense now. It's because I'm the only one who can see them.
We've been this way ever since we met that doll. This must be the doll's curse.
Why they never mentioned their curse?
We actually told the door manager about it before, but she didn't believe us. She thought we were just being weird kids. It was really hard on us. After that, we decided not to speak about it to anyone else.
Doryu solemnly casts her eyes downward. Seems like this has really taken a toll on her and Michio.
After that, we met you. I thought I noticed you staring at my mark. I was wondering whether you could see it back then. Remember when you complimented my hair before? That convinced me you were the only one who could see these things. I was really happy about that. Michio said we should talk about it with you, but I was afraid. I was scared you'd look at us weird. However, tonight, I finally got the courage.
Why am I the only one who can see these things, though?
I'm not too sure about why that is. Aren't there some spiritual occurrences that are only visible to you? Maybe our curse is like that.
So, this is another effect of my gifted supernatural sense. The woes of being cursed. I recall the mark that was carved on my body 4 months ago. It was a death curse. Undoubtedly, their curse also has the power to bring misfortune upon them. Have you experienced anything strange ever since you got the curse? Like a health condition, hearing or seeing things?
Nothing at the moment. I'm not sleep deprived and still have my normal appetite. How about you, Hime? I'm fine too. I knew it. The curse is bad news, right?
I mean, it's called a curse for a reason.
Don't scare me like that.
I feel like I've probably gotten all the information I need from them at the moment.
Mr. Yashiki, I've been thinking about this for a while, but do you think the departed's true identity is that doll?
No, they don't even behave the same.
She put a curse on us, though. Isn't she, like, bad news? I'm sure she's the departed. Evil spirits that were sealed in the clock tower have come out, and I'm sure that was our fault.
But she looks different from the departed.
If the departed can transform into a human, they can probably turn into other things, too. Even this curse of ours is the departed's doing. That means it should be lifted once they're gone.
Michiho gives an abnormally loud shout. She seems to really believe the female doll is the departed. She was already investigating spirits and the departed when we first met. I understand why she's doing that now. She wasn't my rival. She was trying to find a way to lift her curse.
If what Michio said is true, the departed's case isn't just something that's happening randomly. They're incidents that both of us caused.
Doryu.
We have to put an end to this case. Please let us help you out.
I've learned new information from the two of them. The evil darkness surrounding Konoehara Academy continues to deepen. I wonder when that darkness will finally be cleared away and replaced by sunshine. Maybe never. When we arrive at the dormitory, the dorm manager is waiting for us. Given the fact that they broke the curfew and returned this late at night, it's no wonder she's beside herself with rage. But I've already learned the trick to dealing with her from our earlier phone call. She's only concerned about who is going to be held responsible for all of this. Once I promise her I won't tell the school about the curfew violation, she takes it down several notches. I say goodbye to Doryu and Michio and leave the dormitory. Time to head back to Kujou Mansion. There, I start compiling all the reports I need to submit to Mr. Konoe, accompanied by a cup of sweet coffee. How should I summarize this? If I mention the clock tower incident, I'm going to have to bring up the girls breaking curfew as well. That would betray the dorm manager and ruin the image of those two students. I guess I should just stick to mentioning the pool ghost. The back telephone rings loudly. Who's calling me this late at night? Hello?
It's me, Himiko Doryu.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to call this soon. Before we parted ways, I gave them the number to Kujou Mansion just in case. I just didn't imagine that she'd be using the number this soon. So, why did you call?
Well, I wanted to thank you again for earlier.
Same here. Thank you for sharing your information with me.
Glad I could be of help. I never expected there'd be an adult who would take us seriously. It made me very happy.
Of course I believe you too. I can literally see the proof of what you're telling me with that mark of yours and Michio's hair.
Does that mean you wouldn't believe us if you couldn't see my mark?
Oh, I'd still believe you because I'm a weirdo.
Glad to hear that. Just to let you know, I also believe in you, Mr. Yashiki. I know you'll solve this case. Feel free to come to me anytime. I'll be more than happy to help you out as the student council president. I might be bad with all the spirit stuff, but I'll try my best.
I appreciate your courage, but don't push yourself, okay?
Yes, I'll be careful. I have to go take a bath soon. Good night, Mr. Yashiki.
Good night. I hang up the phone once the conversation's over. I need to wash off my sweat and get some shut-eye too. I collapse onto my bed. When I close my eyes, the smiles of the two girls I saved tonight run through my mind. My tension melts away. For the first time in days, I experienced that pleasant bliss of floating to dreamland, unburdened by the past few days' events. However, I know the tranquility is fleeting at best. Once a new notice arrives, I'll have to face the specter again. Chapter 4, The Departed's Presence. End. Ooh, on to Chapter 5. A few days have passed since the incident at the clock tower. K Hospital is surprisingly empty for midday. Forgive the expression, but the place is basically dead. From the other side of the hallway, a familiar-looking man is approaching me. Next to him is a small girl. Hello, Mr. Yashiki. Are you also here to visit Diamond, Ida? Yeah, pretty much. She asked me to come with her.
Good afternoon.
This girl is Suzu Morimiya. Though she's but a grade schooler, she's also one of the mark bearers. After our previous case, she'd come to idolize Aita and treat him as her older brother. Aita, why are you taking Suzu here on a weekday afternoon? She's not skipping school, alright? Today is her school's anniversary.
I heard the situation from Aita. Mr. Diamond's still asleep because of a spirit's curse, isn't he?
Most likely.
No way.
Her eyes are filled with deep sorrow. Don't you worry, Suzu. Mr. Yashiki and I will definitely save Mr. Diamond, alright? Aita proudly taps his chest while making that claim. I have no idea where that confidence comes from. Despite my skepticism, the display brings a smile back to Suzu's face.
Aita, mister, can I trust you too?
Yeah.
Thank you, mister.
Anyway, Mr. Yashiki, I'll continue to back you up on your investigation. Aita, about that. Oops, let's save that for later. I've got to get Suzu back home. I'll go to Kujou Mansion after that. Call me if you need anything.
See you later, mister.
Aita and Suzu leave after that. Crap, that was my chance to tell him. Well, it's interesting they're bringing back like all the characters from the previous games. It's kind of like a grand reunion. Following Slipmouth Kashima's case, I told Moe and Sho to stay out of the investigation. But Aita wasn't around, so I haven't told him yet. Character Suzu Morimiya has been added to the character file. I finish my visit with Diamond and leave the hospital. He's still comatose, showing no signs of leaving limbo and rejoining the ranks of the conscious. The doctors have yet to identify the root cause of his coma. If it's truly the departed's curse that is behind his condition, he won't pull out of this so long as the departed still exists. I drive my car back to Konoehara Academy. A new notice hasn't been discovered yet, but Mr. Konoe asked me to teach a class this afternoon. I enter the classroom and take my place in front of the students. Then I proceed with the class like usual. When Konoe first asked me to teach as part of my investigation, I thought it would be an absolute disaster, but surprisingly I'm doing just fine. On the other hand, the students seem to be doing markedly less fine. The number of fidgeting students that can't focus on class is too large to ignore. Considering some of them also asked me about my investigation, it's obvious what's on their minds. The departed isn't just a fringe rumor anymore. The students have gone from being amused to being terrified. The human heart is a fragile thing. Seeing these kids with their flagging spirits, I know I need to hurry up and close this case. In what feels like a blink of an eye, class is over. The first time I taught, it felt like time stood still. It's kind of troubling to realize I've now been at it long enough that I'm used to it. After school, I start my investigation solo. I think back to my conversation with Doryu and Michio the other day. The departed might be someone close to me. In order to narrow it down, I make the rounds, asking teachers and students alike about the people involved in the incident. However, my efforts are fruitless, and all I get is a lot of small talk and wasted effort. I attempt to take a different angle to figure out the departed's true identity and think it over. The departed is good at hiding. Let's say they're able to take the place of someone else. And when they do, they can perfectly duplicate that person's looks, memories, and personality. It'd be the perfect disguise. Nobody could see through that. With that level of deception, the only real chance to know their true identity would probably be once they've achieved their goal, which would likely be when they exchange vows with their dear husband. And for me, that would either be death or a fate worse than that, so I have to find the answer before then. I glance up and notice that it's already dark out. It's time for the students to leave school. I'm not getting anywhere by blindly hunting for clues. I better go to the infirmary and put together a real plan of action. I found a woman in a white coat waiting inside the infirmary. For a moment I think she's a school nurse, but then I see her face.
Hello,
Yashiki. I never would have imagined you'd be a teacher here. I was really shocked when I heard the news from Diamond. Hiru,
why are you here? To help you out with the investigation. What else would I be doing here? I never would have imagined I'd hear the word help come out of Hito's mouth. There's gotta be a reason. Ask about Hito. She's Manako Hito. She wears a white coat, but not because she's a doctor. Hito is a mark bearer who works at a pharma company as a researcher. If I remember correctly, you don't handle paranormal phenomena all that well. Well, true. I mean, after all the suffering I was put through before, how could I be expected to like it? So, why are you here? Why are you here then? Jeez, you're so annoying. I have my own reasons, alright? She's rather intelligent, but Hito also has quite the cowardly streak. However, there are times when her curiosity gets the better of her and she ends up poking her nose into bizarre incidents. Call it a test of courage, I suppose. Why are you here? To tell you the truth, I'm here because Diamond asked. In the event that something were to happen to him, he asked that I come help you in his stead. Hence, I'm here, using up my paid leave. I appreciate you taking your obligation to Diamond seriously, but this case is extremely dangerous. There have been a lot of casualties already. Oh, come now. Don't patronize me. I'm fully aware of the dangers present. Then why are you... Because I want to save Diamond. Simple as that. They're my friends too, not just yours. Talk about the investigation. Diamond appraised me of the situation. A spirit known as the Departed issues notices targeting people and then has other spirits kill them, correct? Yeah, and it has been pretty successful. We have a number of victims already. That spirit seems to have some human tendencies, eh? They behave a bit like a serial killer. The Departed is different from any other spirit I've encountered so far. They're cunning and they possess the ability to pass themselves off as a human and hide within the school. And I've also heard they're obsessed with you, no? You sure have a strong connection with spirits, Yashiki. I guess so. I wonder if that's just another aspect of my lineage, like the way I seem to be able to see paranormal phenomena that others can't see. Well then, shall we proceed with the investigation? Wait a minute, Kiru. I'm going to investigate alone. I don't want to get you involved in this. Say what? You're just going to disregard my feelings? I don't get any say in the matter? Hiro. Don't you understand what I told you before? You aren't the only one who feels frustrated about what happened to Diamond. So you better ditch that weird I'm the only one who can carry this burden. I'll sacrifice myself mindset. It really gets on my nerves. But I'll just take matters into my own hands if you keep insisting I stay out of this. Just give up. A triumphant smile brightens her features. I don't think I'm going to win a war of wits against her. Hold on a minute. Or not. Moving on to your investigation. I've heard there's no new notice yet. As of this moment, that is correct. I have a feeling one will arrive soon, though. Let's go check the faculty room. You have a sixth sense or something? I guess you can call it that. I have a feeling the Departed wants me, their dear husband, to continue pursuing this case. If my hunch is right, that means they'll be more likely to issue a notice while I'm here at school. Manako Hiro has joined the investigation. The character Manako Hiro has been added to the character file. Let's begin the investigation. First off, let's go to the special building and check the notice in the faculty room. When I get to the room, one of the teachers informs me that Mr. Konoe is away at the moment, which unfortunately means I'm going to have to ask Sakamoto. Goodness gracious, you again? Sakamoto's cold tone of voice makes it apparent that she finds this meeting just as unfortunate as I. What's your business here? I have work to do. Has a new notice from the departed arrived? Notice? Oh, now that you mention it, I did get a report of something like that earlier. What about it? Or what about it? What are you being so nonchalant for? Why didn't you tell me sooner? I believe I've made my position quite clear. I find this investigation of yours to be, at best, a pointless waste of time. Sakamoto shoots a withering glare in my direction, looking like she just swallowed a bug. She's usually pretty open about her dislike of me, but she's taking it to another level today. I got a report from the dorm manager the other day. She informed me that you took Doryu and Kinakawa out and made them violate their curfew. The headmaster might have ordered me to let your absurd behavior slide, but this is unacceptable. So that's why she's being particularly hostile towards me today. I didn't make those girls break curfew, but I can see how it's skewed that way in Sakamoto's mind, and I doubt my explanation would change that. Those notices are pranks. It's a mere coincidence that the students disappeared when the notices were issued. The departed, ghosts, and the supernatural. It's all a bunch of ludicrous nonsense. To think a man like you has sullied the good name of teachers just to investigate this rubbish. Sakamoto's practically got steam coming out of her ears. I wonder what I can do to calm her down. Well, you better at least cooperate. I don't care if you believe in the departed or not, but I'm only here because Mr. Konoe hired me, and I'm trying to do the job my client, your boss, asked me to. Can you at least cooperate? Where's the new notice? I don't have it with me. I told the student who picked it up to throw it away. You told him to do what now? Which student was it? Kakuta from the disciplinary committee. He found it when patrolling the school. What does he look like? He's a strapping, well-built boy. He's in the karate club. Oh my, look at the time. I have to go now. I have a meeting. Before I can even protest, Sakamoto's already left the room. Other teachers are following suit. Well, she's clearly not a fan of yours, Yashiki. Though you pretty much earned that treatment for hitting on high school students. That's not what happened. Stop making things weird. Looks like we're going to have to put in some effort to find this Kakuta boy. I mean, we might stumble upon him by simply stopping to talk to each stout student we see on the way. But it'd be nice if we had a bit more information to go on. More information. Doryu and Michio might know him. Sakamoto's obviously going to be keeping a close eye on my contact with those two, but I can't let that interfere with my work. Okay, why don't we stop it there for now. This is meowmurai. You've been watching Spirit Hunter Death Mark 2 running on PlayStation 5. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.